The good times are rolling here on senior night from Lakota West High School in Westchester. It is week 9 of Ohio high school football, and the Firebirds getting set to take on their GMC rival, Mason Comets, as we mentioned, on senior night. So the energy, it is flowing through Firebird Field here tonight, just about 6.5 minutes away from kickoff after the senior night presentations. As we thank you for joining us up in the broadcast booth here tonight. As always, I'm Nick Johnson, taking you through the play-by-play tonight, here with one of the greatest analysts in the Greater Miami Conference, Jordan Hauk. Jordan, how are we feeling about the senior night matchup here tonight?
Oh, it's great. I mean, nothing beats senior night. It's always one of my favorites, even though I'm not quite a senior yet. I know you're a senior, and I'm sad to see you go, Nick. Well, I know you're going to Missouri. You're going to do something great. You're going to be great in life, and I'm excited to see that. But I'm so sad. All these seniors, man. I know all these guys. Being an upperclassman, it's been tough. It's a good experience, but it's been tough because you know all these guys are going to be leaving. But I'm nothing sadder than seeing Nick Johnson out of the commentary booth. I mean, it's nothing sadder, man.
I don't think there's a better way for me to be spending senior night than to be calling a game like this. It's why I'm here.
Oh,
it's what
man.
we do. And we got the colors coming out here on senior night, so we're going to take a quick step aside for the national anthem. We'll be right back with pregame coverage in just a few moments. Don't go. Back after a wonderful national anthem ceremony from the Lakota West Marching Firebirds. And Jordan, as we kept mentioning a couple times as we started this pregame, senior night always a big night for the home team, but also senior night and homecoming tend to have a lot in common, where it's kind of a commonality to schedule it against a team that you think is easier to go up against, a team you think you're going to beat fairly easily. So a lot of times, especially with homecoming teams, on the away side, they tend to come up with a little bit more energy, have a little bit more fight coming into the ball game. So what do you think it's going to be like for Mason tonight to try and ruin this night for these seniors?
Well, I mean, Mason's always a tough opponent, and nobody ever overlooks them. They're a tough team. They're always playing physical. But as the records show, they are a bit of a middle of the pack team here this year in the GMC, with wins against Oak Hills, Fairfield, and Middletown. But again, losses to Hamilton and Princeton and Sycamore. So this is a team that, you know, it's struggled a little bit, especially because of the quarterback situation, which we'll talk about here in a second. But, I mean, nothing much else to say other than this has been a bit of a middle-of-the-pack team. Some good wins, some bad losses. So should be a tough game tonight.
Yeah, and you mentioned some of the wins they had this year. They had one big win against the Coleraine Cardinals, 45-19. Of course, the Coleraine Cardinals winless on the year, but the three that you mentioned, Oak Hills, Fairfield, and Middletown, those were all fairly close games, all within one possession with the exception of Oak Hills, which was a 10-point win for the Comets. But all of these games are games that when the Firebirds took on those teams, they were all, for the most part, blowouts. So those are the real comparisons that we have coming into tonight. But other than that, I mean, you look at some of the losses. You mentioned Sycamore, 21-10, and that big rivalry game last week, they lose that one, and they lose it on their home turf. So you know they're hungry coming into this one, looking to fight their way back into those GMC standings. And, of course, you get to Week 9, playoff implications are very real. There's only one more week to go. And especially for the Firebirds, a big 2 weeks up and coming. Of course, the Comets are always a fun matchup, but then next week taking on Hamilton on the road, a big player in the GMC, and depending on how the Vikings shake out, it could decide a share of the GMC title.
Oh, yeah, and another thing is Princeton plays Sycamore next week, and that's a team that everybody kind of overlooks. You see on the record that, you know, Mason lost to Sycamore, and I could say we struggled with them in the first half of that game. So Sycamore's not somebody you want to overlook. So all it takes is one loss and a little tiebreaker decision, and we could end up on top of the GMC. So anything could really happen at this point. But every game from now on is crucial. Every play is crucial. Every play is crucial. Every snap is crucial from this point on.
So we're about to see the kickoff units come out to their respective sides here. But let's go back to that quarterback situation you were talking about for the Comets. There is a very familiar face on that sideline here in Lakota West. However, he will not be playing in tonight's game. The starting quarterback for the Comets will be wearing number 12 in the green and white, Quinn Brown.
Yeah, Quinn's going to get the start tonight, but again, a guy that you just said, Ashton Schaaf, transfer quarterback from here, had a starting role earlier in the year, but had some troubles and had some injury problems, so he will not be seeing the field tonight unless it's an emergency situation. So, unfortunately, that will not be happening. But again, a guy like Quinn Brown, who played last week, he's coming off a really good game. It's a really solid game. 18 for 32, 169 yards, 1 TD, 1 INT. So really not a bad game. But again, you're going up against a West defense that has been nearly perfect the entire year. So it's going to be an absolute challenge for him tonight.
And it wouldn't truly be senior night if we didn't show a little attention to a lot of those seniors, especially on that defensive side of the ball as our kickoff up and away, fielded at the 1 yard line. A bit of a staggered running start there for the Comets. The return man able to find a hole, fights up past the 30-yard line, dragged down at about the 32. But who are some of those notable seniors that you expect to have big games tonight?
Oh, I mean, I expect, guys like Eli, guys like Tabron, guys like Jacob Asbeck, the foundation of this West defense. I mean, these guys, you can keep talking about whoever. I mean, Bakari Miles, these guys are all just impact players, and without this defense, or without those guys on defense, I don't know where it would be at this point. But again, coaching's always been huge on this defense, but these players have really, really taken it on and taken in the role of playing defense for Lakota West.
We'll see the pitch back here, and that run going to be blown up instantly in that backfield. Number 27, Braden Dunn, trying to shake off a couple of tacklers there, but to no avail, and that is a significant loss on first down for the Mason Comets. Look like they're going to be dragged back about 5 yards on their first play of the night.
Yeah, Mason's a run-heavy team. As we talked about it earlier off the broadcast, they're a very run-heavy team. They've got a couple guys that'll touch the ball tonight. You'll see guys like Temi Asanya, who's currently in the backfield right now, and he's a bit of an interior runner. He's going to get the ball right here.
There he goes, cuts to the interior. He is going to try and move it out right, but it'll be blown up instantly. Jacob Asbeck and Finn Mason combining on the stop up the middle. Already a minute in, and the Comets not going anywhere. The defense holding strong already.
Yeah, you're also going to see guys like Sky Talley and Chase Blevins as an H-back kind of slot receiver in the backfield type of guy. So a lot of run-heavy stuff, but again, so far, I know we're only 2 plays in, Nick, but this defense looks good.
And 3rd and long, you got 3rd and 14 here. This is what the defense wants. Force Mason to throw this football here tonight. As you know, their quarterback situation, they're not too comfortable airing it out. They'd much rather keep it on the ground. They will air it out there, and I believe they're going to call that a catch, and they will just shy of that line to gain by about 3 yards. So it will be a 4th and short, And Quinn Brown also doubles as a punter, similar to Talon Fisher in Fairfield. So he will stay out on the field, but we do see the line switch here, so it will be Mason punting away this football by the looks of it.
Yeah, 4th and short, kind of a feel-out drive. They don't want to risk anything too early. They're still in their own territory, so probably a good decision right here.
As you can see there, Brennan Remy in the backfield. Another notable senior for this Firebird squad. Takes his kickoff at his own 29-yard line, swerves through the first tackler. Gain of a flag down on the play.
Yeah, maybe a little block in the back, a little setback, but I'm sure everything will be all right. So the refs get together.
Looking for about this one. Flag thrown right as Remy got tackled down by his ankles, and it looks like they're going to pocket that flag.
All right. Well, I guess we'll get to see this West offense. I mean, they've done a great job all year. I mean, they improve week to week. They just look like they keep getting better. They're putting up more points on the scoreboard every time, and they're really using their guys efficiently. Beauchamp and Bone has done a great job on this offensive scheme. I'm curious to see what they do tonight.
Wiles takes the first snap of the night, fires deep across the middle, finds Remy at the opposite 45. Up the middle, he's got room, and Remy, a first play touchdown for the Firebirds offense.
Can't ask for anything better. Just a little seam route up the middle. There was a too high safety coverage, and he just split it right down the middle. Nothing you can do. Remy's got that speed, and I think I know why. He's got the buzz cut tonight.
Hey, you mentioned it before the game. A lot of these guys going buzz cut. I kind of like it, showing the team has some unity a little bit. Some look better than others, but it's a team strength kind of thing, and I like the decision to go for it. So Brennan Remy there, I mean, senior night first play, touchdown for the Firebirds. I mean, you can't ask for anything better, but how about that throw under pressure? Sam Wiles stepping up in the pocket and hits Remy on the dime.
Oh, yeah, that's what he's done all year. He's stepped up and taken that quarterback role to heart, and he has really been the general of this offense. He's done a great job. As we're going to have a what's happening here, Nick?
I don't know that we missed the point after on that one, but it looks like they're respotting this football. Oh, there was a flag on the play that got called late. I did not see any flags down, but they are all marching back.
Wow. What a setback. I didn't even see the flag.
Points taken off the scoreboard. And all that momentum that West had just fought back for, all gone.
Man.
An ineligible man downfield, one of those late calls. Didn't quite get a number on that. We didn't have the refs on the mic, just overhearing what information we get from the PA guy.
Yeah, that's an interesting call. I mean, they only had 5 down linemen there, and they were all in pass protection. Not too sure. I don't know. But hopefully we can maybe recreate that play right here. But I'm sure this is going to be a run.
Remy getting set wide to the left. Barnett on that close sideline where the Firebirds are at. This one a run to Braden Johnson. Punches up that left side for about 2 to 3 yards. 2nd and long on the way for a Firebird. And, I mean, I'm going to say it again, the momentum, a real killer there, especially a short run on that play. And now you're dealing with 2nd and 13 instead of being up 7-0.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing, but look for Braden Johnson this game. Look how they disguise him. I'm really curious to see how they move him. Last game they used him efficiently, but when he was in the game, he automatically got the ball. So we'll see if they maybe use a little trickery.
Wiles to pass again, steps up, finds Remy. Open room on that right sideline, fights past the 45. He's got the first with ease. Brought down at the 46, maybe 47-yard line, and it looks like another flag down, and they're going to call this a hold on the Firebirds. And once again, I'm not seeing any physical flags down on the field. I'm just seeing the refs calling penalties, so a little confusion there.
And they're picking it up.
And they are picking it up again, right as the Firebirds all march back. And you see the offensive line taking a turn around, and they're like, a free gain there after the Brennan Remy catch and run for the first down.
Yeah, interesting start. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really haven't seen this before. I mean, there's a couple picked up flags, a couple flags that you can't see. It's like invisible out there.
I'm sure we'll go back and watch this broadcast at the end of the night and see a bunch of flags down everywhere we're just missing. And now we have the Mason coaches coming out to confer here. I did not see a timeout get called, so I believe the refs just conferring with both sidelines here after a couple of miscues from the Zebras early on in this game. Never what you want to see in high school football. I mean, there's the old saying, I mean, let the kids play, especially on a night like tonight. You kind of just want to see them get the ball and go out there, and we saw some big plays already to get overturned.
Yeah, you don't really want to do that here on senior night. These are two tough teams that we really want to see ballot out because they're both mentally tough, they're both physically tough, and that's what they play on. That's their motto. So Mason West is always an interesting matchup, and I would hate for it to be ruined by flags, you know.
In fact, the matchup last year was not on senior night, it was on homecoming night, which we mentioned the similarities there before as far as momentum for the away team goes. Yep. We'll see 1st and 10 here from the 47-yard line of Firebird territory. Wiles out in the backfield here. Giovanni Wilson, the man in motion. It's a handoff to the senior Gonzalez. Oh no, it'll be a play action, so Sam Wiles going to keep it and run with it up that left side. Gain of about 3, fights up to the 50. They're actually going to spot him down at that 49-yard line.
Yeah, that was a nice little read by Sam Wiles, but I mean, Kyle Wilson, the free safety right there, rolled down, looking like he was going to blitz. Great patience on the edge. He set the edge, and Sam's trying to get away, but I mean, nice little tackle. Only gets a gain of about 2.
You know your play fakes are good when you're faking us out after 9 weeks of seeing this option offense.
Yes, Nick.
We'll see Wiles again return to the shotgun. Gonzalez once again the back to his left. Wiles to throw, looks left sideline, overthrown for Giovanni Wilson. Too far to the left. 3rd and 9 upcoming for the Firebirds offense.
Yeah, that's just a wide receiver quarterback connection. That was a little, about 12-yard out, just a little bit too far. He was open, ball was there. It's a nice little throw, just couldn't connect.
So 3rd and 9 here. I got to wonder, we've seen a couple of fairly deep shots taken so far from Sam Wiles. Wonder if we see another one here, if they play it more conservative around midfield. Wiles with the snap here. Fakes the handoff, looks to throw, moves out left under pressure, fires deep downfield, looks for Giovanni Wilson, bobbled a few times. Lots of contact, fans want a flag. It will be ruled incomplete, no laundry down.
Hendricks on the coverage right there. I mean, I couldn't really see it, but Wilson, it looked like he had it in his hands for a quick second, but good recovery by Hendricks to come in and swat the ball down. Forces this lethal West offense off the field, which is not something we have seen this year.
We'll see Joe Marquardt come out after what could have been an early 7-0 start for the Firebirds. So back-to-back punts to start this game for both offensive unit. Marquardt boots this one away inside the 15. Fair caught at the 12-yard line, and the Comets will have a second shot on offense when we return in just a few moments from Firebird Field. Back from Firebird Field, Mason Comets taking their second crack at things on offense. It'll be Quinn Brown taking the snap here. Quick dump off to the left side in the flat. Fighting up to about the 14-yard line for a 2-yard gain. Comets keeping it a bit conservative, and as we mentioned earlier, force the Comets to throw the ball. That's what the Firebirds are after tonight, and as we saw, that looks to be a successful game plan after the first drive.
Yeah, what Mason's going to do is they're going to challenge you laterally on the ground, and West has done a great job all year. They fly to the ball, and they're quick laterally, so that's a hard game to beat. But so far, West has done a good job. They're fundamental so far, and see what they do here.
Brown takes a snap, fakes the pitch back. He's going to run with it up the left middle. Approaches that 20-yard line. He'll be hit at about the 18, maybe 19-yard line. Another 3rd down on the way.
Another opportunity for this defense to get off the field. Another 3-and-out opportunity. So curious to see if they go to the air right here. Maybe another rollout play. That's probably their most conservative pass play in that Mason offensive playbook. So I'm curious to see what they do here, Nick.
About 12 seconds remaining on the play clock. Mason yet to break their huddle. Now inside 10. Wouldn't be surprised to see a timeout here late.
Yep.
And there it is. Mason timeout called. We'll take a quick step aside with them. Firebirds scoreless so far, but still seemingly dominant in tonight's game. Third and 4 upcoming after the Mason Comets burn their first timeout of the night. We'll see if they stick with their run offense here or if the Firebirds end up forcing them to throw again. They'll fake the pitch back on the end around. Micah Markley in pursuit here, the quick throw. And that'll be a big chunk yardage play for the Mason Comets, working all the way down there as the wide receiver number 82, Jaden Brogdon, nearly punching himself into Firebird territory, but he gets out around that 45-yard line, depending on where they spot the football.
Yeah, that was a great call, actually. I mean, they noticed it was man coverage. They kind of brought the house a little bit, got the Mike backers on their toes and exposed the defense a little bit. So they really exposed that man coverage, got a big gain out of it. It'll be first down.
Brown returning to the shotgun here. He's got a back out behind him. 3 wide for the Comets. Brown takes a snap, throws it out wide to the left flat, and that'll be incomplete off the hands of his receiver there. A quick fire to Braden Greer. Not going to work out for the Comets.
Yeah, that's not usually what you see from Mason. They're really fundamental. They really like to keep the small things, the small things big and catch the balls and hold on to the football when they're running. And yeah, surprised to see what they do here. But second and long, not good territory if you're Mason. You really want to get a couple, at least 3 or 4 yards every play, especially going up against a defense like this.
Of course, and when you're a run team like Mason is, staying on schedule has to be a big part of your game, like you mentioned here, and that's what the Firebirds are going for. Of course, we keep talking about them. Force Brown to throw this ball. Force one of your quarterbacks to throw that ball away, and as we see there, successful pass attempt up to the 50-yard line. And going back to that quarterback conversation, Quinn Brown, just one of 3 quarterbacks that we've seen from Mason so far this year, all of them, with the exception of the injured Ashton Schaaf, relatively equal pass attempts.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they really like to spread out the pass. They don't want to create any patterns to give any defense coordinators any nods. But yeah, they really do a great job of disguising plays and really balancing out the pass and the run.
Mason going heavy on the line here, try and punch this one up the middle. And Elijah Davis getting in there with Gabe Flores. They stuff that one after a gain of maybe about half a yard. 4th and 2 upcoming, and we'll see if the Comets decide to bring out that punt unit again or if they're going to try and go for it close to that line to gain. And right now it's looking like they're leaning go for it.
Yeah, I think you go for it here. Midfield, defense looks pretty strong right now. There's no reason not to go for it. You're 2 yards away. Maybe a little trickery right here. Definitely don't expect them to run the ball. They got 4 down linemen in there, so now 3 down linemen because Judah King is coming back out.
They substitute him off for Finn Mason. 3 wide for the Comets. Back in the backfield, everybody else crowded up towards that line. This is tough football right here as a timeout gets called. And it will be another Comets timeout, their second of the night. And here we are with 4 minutes left in this first quarter to play. And once again, we'll take a step aside with them. We'll be right back with the finale of this exhilarating drive in just a few moments. 4th down and 2. The Comets stay out on the field. They are going for it. This is hard-nosed football right here. It's plays like this that are going to side the game. Here goes Brown, keeping it, makes a dive for the line to gain. He's not going to get there.
Man, that is close.
Ooh, they might measure that. That's a little closer than it looked like from our perspective.
Yeah, you got to measure that.
Yeah, we might see the chains come out here.
Man, what, having a little standstill.
Both sides are staying out. They might say the Comets ended up getting this football.
Here they come.
Here they go.
Timeout for measurement.
Oh, boy.
This
is exciting.
As new school as technology has gotten in football, the chains are a big part of this game.
Yep.
This is a big play early on.
What do we got?
We are, ooh, that's close.
Oh, my gosh.
They're giving the first down.
Man.
They say they got the nose of the football. That looked like a situation where you might have to break out an index card. That was close.
I was just about to say
They've
that.
done it before.
Yeah.
But the Mason Comets will punch that one forward. Quinn Brown able to just barely eke across that line for a new set of Comet downs.
Man, that was a tough play. That's a hard-nosed play. For quarterback, we're running up the gut like that. Man, he's tough for that one.
Brown going to pitch this one back. Here goes Timmy Asanya to that right side. Gain of about 4. Once again, the Comets able to stay on schedule with the first carry.
Man, Timmy, he's got that linebacker build, but he is quick. That's usually not what you expect from him. That you expect, draws up the middle or some inside zone, but giving him a pitch outside every once in a while, get a quick burst, get a nice 3 or 4 yards every time because he's a tough kid. He's hard to bring down. He's got that Junior Gonzalez build.
But the spot, they're only going to give him 3, so 2nd and 7 here under 3.5 minutes to go from Firebird Field in quarter number 1. Man in motion for the Comets. Brown takes a snap, fakes the handoff up the middle. He's going to keep it for himself. Run it right side, and it's Finn Mason able to knock him down out of bounds. And also in on that pursuit is one Grant Bierman for the Firebirds, current leader in total tackles for the Firebirds, and he's only a junior. We've been talking about the senior tonight.
Yes.
He's going to be back next year. He's a big part of this Firebird defense.
Oh yeah, he'll definitely be a captain next year. He's just a great player. You really stick him anywhere. With his build, you wouldn't think he'd be an inside backer, but he plays it so well. That's why he's there. He reads the run really well. He's also great in the pass, but usually he's blitzing every other play, and he does a great job of it.
Another 3rd and 4 here for the Comets. Brown pitches this one back, ran right side, and this one going to punch across. We'll see where they say he stepped out of bounds, but it looked like he got that one with relative ease. Chase Blevins, the senior running back for the Comets, and the chains will start to move.
Yeah, this is something that we haven't seen all year from anybody going up against this defense. Is that beating this West defense laterally, and that's through pitches, through outside passes, because usually these corners and these safeties and these linebackers really fly to the ball so fast, and I'm really surprised at what I'm seeing right now. Mason's doing a great job.
And it seems like, especially historically in the past, it's teams like that who run that pitch that end up giving West the most bang for their buck in some of these close games. Is we'll see a one-yard rush there up the middle. Looks like they're actually going to give them 2 on a push forward. But, you see teams with the pitch handoffs like that, and you almost get flashbacks to some of those Moeller games, those quick guys getting to the outside.
Yeah, I remember that game, but interior D-line's huge here, especially on the stride. They really love to run the ball up the middle, so look for Eli and Jonas to really swallow up some plays. 2nd and long, though, so I'd expect something through the air right here.
After the 2-yard gain, only 2nd and 8 for the Comets here. Right side blown up in the backfield, and able to get there is the former running back Davion McCoy, stopping the Comets on the Firebirds 45.
Yeah, they brought an extra outside backer in Davion McCoy, sacrificing a D lineman for an outside backer, and that's what happens when you bring in more backers. That means more lateral quickness. That means more getting to the outside of the tackle box anytime there's a run play. And you saw it right there. It sets up a 3rd and long. This is an uncomfortable situation for Mason because they don't like to throw the ball down the field, especially on a coverage unit like this.
Of course, the West secondary I'm pretty sure ever since Bolden has been here as this head coach, I mean, that secondary has always been one of the top in the state, if not the nation at times, as Asbeck jumps for the football, where the pass will be complete out to that left side. And the Comets will not be able to get the first there, I don't think. Braden Greer trying to make a dive for those chains. This might be another close call, but it looks like the Firebirds should have the stop.
I don't know. He was stopped like 6 yards before the first down, but he battled his way.
They're going to give him about a full yard.
It's a great play of toughness. Mason's bringing in the big boys, so you're going to get some hard-nosed football right here.
A lot of hard-nosed football early on in this game. It's what you like to see. As they're going to try and push this one up with Quinn Brown. And that was no Philadelphia brotherly shove. I don't think the Comets got that one.
Looks to be short.
Both sides are pointing to their opposite end zones. I mean, we might see the chains again depending on where they put the football.
From our perspective, it looks short.
He looks very short where they spot that.
Yep.
That's Firebird football.
All right. Great stop. Interior D lineman did a great job right there. All of them.
There was a lot of discussion on where to put that football. I think they actually put it behind the original line of scrimmage on that play.
Wow.
So the ref ball has been very interesting here early on, but we will see the Firebirds offense back out. About 35 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Both sides still scoreless here early on.
Yeah, another thing that Mason's doing is they're taking time off the clock. That's why they love to run the ball. They're keeping this West offense off the field as much as they can.
Handoff up the middle here. It's going to be Braden Johnson ripping off about 4 up the middle.
Yeah, just that was actually Giovanni Wilson.
That is going to be Giovanni Wilson.
Surprising. You don't usually see a guy like that get interior runs. He got a good gain on that. Sets up a second and medium.
Giovanni Wilson, typically the slot guy out wide for the Firebirds, but I mean, he started in that running back role last year, and he's very effective at it. One of the few running backs on this roster that isn't necessarily that power back type, and as we saw there, very elusive up the middle. But we're going to switch sides of the field here. A new 12 minutes put on the clock. When we come back, it'll be the second quarter of play from senior night at Firebird Field. Still scoreless. Firebirds looking to change that when we return.
So right now we're going to do our kick for...
As you just saw there, the ADs kicking the field goals. That means free 6-piece boneless wings for the next few days for all Lakota West students. And I don't think I've heard the crowd louder ever when that gritty was hit by Coffin on the goal line. That's entertaining the crowd right there as the Firebirds look to push this one up the middle. And they're going to pick up that first down easily. New set of downs for the Firebirds. They continue to move with ease on offense tonight.
Yeah, I know where we're going after the game, Nick. What do you think?
I mean, I'll take a free 6-piece wing any day of the week, especially after the show we just witnessed down in that end zone.
Yeah, that was great. Should have had me kicking, I'm going to be honest. Probably could have done it right-footed, you know?
I mean, that's dinner and a movie right there. I'll take that any day of the week. I need to see that again.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll see Wiles out here with 4 wide. It's Gonzalez the back out to his right. He hands it off to Gonzalez. And you hate to see that guy get downhill if you're this defense. Moves it all the way to the 45-yard line. And we talk about it every week, how he's that bowling ball type, more like a bowling ball of butcher's knives as he punches that one up the middle, nearly picking up the first down, an 8-yard gain up the middle for Gonzalez.
Yeah, that was a great analogy, but I mean, you guys saw it. I mean, his first point of contact was at about the 39-yard line for a 2-yard gain. Just keeps going. I mean, gets 6-7 more yards, and that's what you're gonna get out of him.
Wiles takes a snap here. He's going to hand this one off to Braden Johnson. Easy first down, another downhill rush as he fights up to the 46 of Mason Comet territory. Firebirds continue to march downfield.
That's the 1-2 ground punch right there. Braden Johnson outside, can bounce it out. He's got that speed and elusiveness. Then you hit it right back up the middle with Junior Gonzalez. It's definitely hard to stop, Nick. I'll tell you what.
And similar to how successful that secondary has been under Bolden, a lot of these power rushing backs. I mean, you'll love to see him. Braden Johnson, of course, the breakout one, but Junior Gonzalez taking over after Cameron Good. A lot of these guys, highly successful backs in the high school football world, as Brennan Remy takes this quick out to the flat, all the way up to the 40-yard line of Comets territory, about half the chains on 1st and 10.
Just keep the ball moving if you're the West offense. Have had a lot of time on the field, so good conservative plays, keep the clock running. Keep that offense mowing, and little by little you'll make it all the way to that black end zone on our left side.
2nd and 5 up and coming for the Firebirds. Gonzalez returns to the backfield behind Sam Wiles here. 2 receivers out wide to the close sideline, 1 out wide to the far. Wiles, play action here, stays out in the pocket, fires this one deep for Trey Barnett. A little bit of jersey tugging there, no flags out.
Yeah, it was good contested coverage, but he was kind of side by side with him, had about a half a step with him. I mean, that would have been a perfect throw if Sam Wiles could have completed that, but he did not, unfortunately. As we're going to see Jack Barella come into the game. We saw Jack Barella last week, got his first, excuse me, not last week. Was that last week? Oak Hills last week? 2 weeks ago, that's right. I had a little brain fart right there. He had his first career touchdown, so they like to use him in different ways. 3rd and medium here, so look to go to the air.
Wiles a lone man in the backfield, 3 out wide to his right. They bring an extra man in, Barella, on that offensive line, and Wiles is going to go down from the blind side, about 2 yards behind that line of scrimmage. And usually, for the running type that Sam Wiles is, his pocket presence can be pretty impressive. But, I mean, when you get hit from the blind side like that, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah, it's tough. He's done a great job all year eluding the pressure, but just right there, great job by Malachi, the defensive lineman right there, not letting him escape and forcing this West offense out. So hopefully Joe can pin him back inside the 10. Hopefully the 5 would be nice. Give this defense some room to work.
Firebirds quickly moving out an 11th man onto the field. Marquardt punting from his own territory. This one bouncing inside the 5. Firebirds can't get there in time. Rolls through for the touchback.
Yeah, the closest man to that ball was number 23, Joel Drake. Just couldn't get there. Can't predict those bounces sometimes. That's a tough read, especially if you're a gunner. It's one of the hardest positions to do. Usually you want your fast guys and elusive guys there, but tough little read right there, and Mason's going to get it at the 20.
So we'll see what this Firebird defense can do. They've held strong on every drive they've had faced so far. Little under 10 minutes here in the second quarter. Still scoreless, and of course I think the Firebirds, especially with it being senior night, coming in here with so much energy, I think they expected to be up big on the board at this point in the game already, but just doesn't seem like it's going to be that kind of night.
Yeah, Mason always gives a tough challenge.
They're going to push this one up the middle with Brown, who's able to fight through a lot of contact there, break free before the safety Finn Mason able to come down and knock him down. Or actually, I believe that was Drew Minnick in on the tackle to bring him down about 3 yards down the field from that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, again, that's that toughness. That's what they're built on. That's what Mason does. They're trying to wear you down as a defense. Defensively, West usually is the one that wears the other team down, but these are two teams. These are two hard-nosed football teams. They're so physical, and it's so fun to watch, and that's why we're deadlocked at 0 right now.
Of course, last year at halftime, it was very low scoring as well. A team like Mason that eats a lot of the clock like this through that run game. I mean, it's never easy to beat a team like that too convincingly as they punch this one up the middle. Looks like another 3 to stay on schedule.
Yeah, another quick couple yards. It sets up about a third and 4-ish play, so you can really opens the playbook. You can do a rollout pass. They've had success tonight, or you can even, you know, maybe a little trickery or something, or if they really wanted to and they were confident enough, they can run it up the gut and see if they can get a couple yards and hopefully move the chains. But from an offensive standpoint, the playbook is open.
See Brown return to the backfield here, a man behind him. In motion for the Comets here, it's Bill Horn. This one going to be handoff up the middle. And a lot of Firebird tacklers able to get back there into the backfield, but slippery ball carrier there. He's going to try and spin it back out, but he's going to end up costing his team a lot more yards that way. Mason almost pushed back to that 20-yard line where they started.
Yeah, he was just trying to do his best right there, trying to make a play happen, but these guys, they fly to the ball so fast, it's almost impossible. And that's what West has done really all year and all this time as Tyler Halls is the defensive coordinator. That's what their mindset is.
Second punt of the night for the Comets. They're 0 for 3 on offensive drives. 2 punts, 1 turnover on downs. Is Remy going to let this one take a Comet bounce? He is going to pick it up, juke out a man. He's going to run it towards that Firebird sideline, nearly able to fight his way up to the 40 of West territory. The Firebirds coming out, about 7 minutes remaining in the half, still scoreless when we return. West side back out on offense here. We'll see Wiles fake the handoff on this one, drop back to throw. He's going to run out to the right. Tries to find a man downfield, not enough time, and he's going to be dropped by Kai Wolfort, the leader in tackles for loss on this on this Mason defense. Don't know why I'm thinking Fairfield. Only had 1 previous sack on the year, but he gets Wiles there on that right side.
Hey, you're good, Nick. That was a great job by the coverage unit right there on Mason's side. Usually Wiles likes to throw down the field in those scramble situations. He does a great job of it, reading the defense, but nowhere to go right there. Got to give the credit to the secondary.
4 wide here for Wiles. He's got Gonzalez to his left. He's going to step up, run this one up the middle. Fights back past that original line of scrimmage. Tries to make a dive for that West 40. He'll be brought down at about the 39-yard line of Firebird territory.
Yeah, it was a nice little call right there, a little QB draw. They brought pressure from the right side and from the outsides. Opens up that middle for a decent gain, and it sets up West for a third and manageable right here. Again, these third and medium, the third and shorts, the playbook is open. I mean, you can really run whatever you want. What are you most comfortable with? Are you most comfortable with rolling out the pocket and throwing something out there? Are you most comfortable with running up the middle and trusting your back?
We'll see Wiles take to the air here. Quick fire out to Giovanni Wilson. Through the hands, incomplete on that west sideline, 4th down.
Yeah, similar play as we saw earlier, trying to get that 5-ish yard out. Just couldn't connect. Mason defense holding strong against this West offense that has surprisingly little success so far. Hopefully Marquardt can give a good boot right here. Set Mason back, gives his defense some room to breathe.
His 3rd punt of the night. I don't think we've seen him more in the first half than we have tonight. He drops the snap there. He is able to get it off. A high one there takes a Mason-friendly bounce, and it'll go out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. We'll take a quick step aside and be right back with the final 5.5 minutes of the first half when we return. Back after the 3rd Firebird punt of the night, still scoreless on senior night from Firebird Field. As Brown takes this snap for the Comets under pressure from Jacob Asbeck, and that pass is going to be dropped. Incomplete to Ayante Stanley. As the Comets working with a 2nd and 10 to start this drive.
You saw that play earlier, naked boot, fake pitch to that left side. Had a little bit of space to work with. That's a detrimental drop, though. If you're Mason, you gotta make these plays up because this West defense is coming, and they're gonna blitz, and eventually they're gonna get home. And you really want to get a couple plays at a time. You can't have a drop like that, setting your offense back even more.
We'll see Brown here return to the shotgun, pitches this one left side handoff, and he's going to be dropped for a loss of 1, maybe just a half yard. But the Comets being stopped early on this drive, and it goes back to what we've been saying this whole time, force these 3rd and longs. That's where the Firebirds want the Mason Comets in this game.
Yeah, and that was a great job by the free safety, Finn Mason, coming in. Again, another guy with the buzz cut. I mean, I think it's aerodynamic. I think it makes him more elusive because he got in there quick. Usually you don't see the free safety like that unless you're on a blitz, fly to the ball, and get him behind the line of scrimmage on a run. But great job by Finn. He really flew to the ball, sets up a 3rd and uncomfortable 12 for Mason.
This one from the 32 of the Comets' own territory. Brown, deep drop, looking to throw under pressure from the middle. Able to get it off. We'll get maybe a half a yard on that gain. Big 4th down stop here for the Firebirds. And now it looks like we'll see the punt unit out again. So not an entertaining game as far as offense goes, but these defensive battles can be fun, especially when playing within your own division.
Oh, yeah, these are always awesome. And I love it because I'm a defensive guy myself, and I just love watching these defensive battles. But every once in a while, I do like a bit of a shootout. You know, West hasn't really been in a shootout since, I would say, the Fairfield game last year. But games like these are always fun.
Lots of pressure. Of course, West known to block a couple punts on special teams, as Brendan Remy will fair catch this one at about the 34-yard line. We'll take another quick step aside from Firebird Field, and we'll be right back with another Firebird offensive possession in a few moments. Firebirds with the football here. This play going to be run up the middle. Gain of a couple for the Firebirds is, late flag.
Uh-oh.
Never like to see those late flags. Looks like
That's going to go on the green and white.
that's a lot of late contact, and it looks like an offensive lineman coming up limping for the Firebirds here. That's number 77. That would be Christian O'Neill, the junior offensive lineman.
Oh, boy.
And he is now down entirely on the turf. And we're going to take an official timeout here from the west side. We'll be right back. Back after the injury timeout here from Lakota West, and O'Neill is able to walk off with the help of some athletic training staff here at Lakota West. But taking a look around the GMC after that personal foul, you see a lot of big games as far as playoff implications goes. Oak Hills and East still in the playoff conversation here. They don't have a ton of wins at the bottom of that GMC, but whoever wins there coming up with some big points in the standings is Braden Johnson. Going to run this one right side, maybe gain about a half a yard. But as you can see, that Princeton Vikings score, the Vikings leading those Coleraine Cardinals. I don't think anybody really expecting the Cardinals to pull off that upset, but time is running out for these Vikings to drop a gain if the Firebirds want to fight their way back to the top of this division.
Yeah, and I think that Princeton game next week, that's the one you want to watch. It's Sycamore and Princeton, even though Sycamore is down 12-0 right now to the Big Blue. in which we face the Big Blue next week, and that'll be a test because they're 6-1 in the GMC. So that'll be a high-powered matchup. But this is also a high-powered matchup right here. This is tough on tough.
2nd and 10. Wiles fakes the handoff here, fires across the middle, finds Remy, spins out of the initial tackle, crosses the 30-yard line to the 29, maybe the 28, as the Firebirds pick up another first down.
Yeah, great job there. Sat in the zone, found the little soft spot. Sam Wiles put it in there, able to spin out of a tackle and came up with the rack yards, the receiving after catch. So nice job by Remy there, using his athleticism, getting a big gain, keeping the Firebirds rolling.
Wiles a lone man in the backfield, 3 out wide to the near sideline. Wiles quick fire on the screen, finds Giovanni Wilson out of the slot. Picks up about 4 yards on that first down.
Yeah, a little screen right there. Not a bad play call, not a bad play by itself. Got about 5 yards, that's all you need. As we're going to see Gonzalez march back on in a heavy format here. Heavy formation.
Of course. In a game like this, that personal foul really hurting the Comets.
Oh, yeah.
In a situation like this, giving up an easy 15 yards, a free 15 yards for these Firebirds. It's not what you want to do in a defensive stalemate.
No. As you're going to see a timeout here from Bolden. Didn't like something, but going back to that personal foul real quick, if you're Mason, you just can't make mistakes like that. You know, personal mistakes like that in a deadlock game like this on senior night. I mean, the tensions are high already here, and the flags are flying. You can't make a mistake like that. I know it's only 0-0, but 15 yards could cost you a down, and it could cost you a couple downs, and that turns into 6. So just not what you want to do if you're Mason, especially in a defensive stalemate.
We'll see a 2nd and 5 up and coming here after the Firebird timeout, and they're approaching that red zone for the first time tonight. Of course, you can keep going back to it all night. That initial touchdown getting called back. Firebirds haven't been able to find the red zone since. Haven't taken a snap in the red zone. That initial touchdown coming off of a big first play. So the Firebirds trying to make that push here on this 2nd and 5. Wiles in the backfield here, takes a snap, fakes the handoff. He's rolling out right on the boot, throws deep to the end zone. Overthrown for Trey Barnett, yet to find the end zone this year. I can tell you what, I know he's hungry to find that end zone. Highly anticipated receiver coming over from Northern Kentucky.
Man, yeah, he's a deep threat, and he's been open a couple times. Just the ball is just a little bit too far. I know Sam hits the weight room, and I think I said that last week, but Sam's a strong kid, but he may need to tone it down just a little bit. That's a couple overthrown balls so far. But he had a step on him right there. That would have been 6 if they would have connected. Sets up a 3rd and medium.
See what Bolden and the offense able to draw up here. This is a big play for the Firebirds as we approach halftime. Wiles going to pitch this one back last second, and Wilson not able to come up with it cleanly. A big 3rd down stop for the Comets.
Man.
And we'll see what the Firebirds elect to do here.
They're going to bring out the kicker. Here comes Benner. He's been pretty good. He's been really solid from the as a field goal percentage. This is a longer kick. This is really stretching it out. This is one you practice all the time in warm-ups. We saw him kicking from this distance, but it's hard in the situation, that's for sure.
This one, 42 yards. Benner boots it up, and it is not going to be good. Well wide right. Firebirds remaining scoreless. We'll see the Comets come back out when we return. A close defensive stalemate still with about 1:23 remaining in the half. Comets coming out on what could be a potentially game-deciding drive here early. And I know we're only in the first half, but the way this game is going, Comets looking to strike first, as neither team has been able to do to this point in the half. So they're going to try and punch this one up the middle. Not to much avail, about a gain of 2.
Yeah, maybe a little sense of urgency that kicks in with this Mason offense. They really got to hurry up. We've got 1:20 and counting left in the half. And we know they don't like to go to the air that often. They really like to run the ball. But these little gains of yardage is not going to cut it if you really want to put some points on the board on this drive.
2nd and 7 here for Brown. Another pitch handoff ran to the left side, and he's going to be dropped well in the backfield there. Jacob Asbeck, future Navy midshipman, getting back there as a timeout gets called by the Firebirds, trying to conserve clock. We'll take a quick step aside and be back with the finale to this first half. Third and 8 after the Firebird timeout. Still scoreless here. 45 seconds to go. A big third down on the way. Firebirds trying to get some sort of points on this board, but of course they got to stop the hungry Mason team first, as Brown going to continue rolling towards that sideline, throws it away incomplete, and plays right into the hands of the Firebirds here, who are going to force a punt and try for one more offensive possession before we head to locker rooms.
Man, 2-minute drill. This is the 37-second drill. So they're going to get the ball at maybe about the 45, 40-yard line. You got to drive all that way. Haven't had too much success without these little gains of yardage. So you really got to air the ball down the field. Maybe we can see a play like we saw on the very first play of the game where Remy goes down the seam and hopefully can get in for 6.
And it helps to have an electric returner like one Brennan Remy, who's currently lingering about the 50-yard line. High kick here. End over end fair. Oh, no, he's not going to. He's going to let it bounce. Comets letting it roll. Time continuing to tick off the clock as well. They let it hit the 30 before it is blown dead. 22 seconds remain on the clock. We'll take a step aside. Firebirds trying to get something going when we return with the final drive of the first half. Firebirds out here 4 wide. Sam Wiles in shotgun. Trying to march downfield and around 20 seconds. Overthrown for Brennan Remy there. That could have been the play. Hit him just a bit high. Off that glove of number 1 in the red and white. That's exactly what the West Side needed.
Man, I mean, they had 2 guys up on that play. They had Giovanni Wilson on that right side, on the far sideline. Maybe a quick little pass and get out of bounds. Man, that could have been a really big play because you still have your timeout if you're Bolden. Really got to air it out here.
Both sides still with 1. I mean, not a lot of time, but maybe Mason takes one defensively to save time. Is that one to Remy incomplete? Too far on the sideline, unable to come down with it. 12 seconds remain.
At this point, you either just want to go into the locker room or throw one up to one of your playmakers because 12 seconds is not a lot of time. Maybe you can get a quick, say, 15-yard-ish out. Maybe try and get in the field goal territory. But, again, not a lot of time to work with. That's 12 quick seconds.
I don't think we're going to be seeing a score for either side regardless, barring any defensive craziness. 4 wide look for the Birds here. Wiles going to run it up the middle. He's got the first down, continues to stay on his feet, fights to the 44. 5 seconds left. Clock is stopped. West Side timeout.
All right, what do you do here? You air it out. It's Hail Mary time. Man.
I mean, 5 seconds. Got to take a shot at the end zone. Too far out for a field goal. Not enough time to try and cross into Braden Benner territory. I mean, we're going to see some exciting football. It's always fun what we saw earlier, the hard-nosed stuff, getting down in the trenches, trying to fight across the line. But it's plays like this, the deep shots downfield, it's hard-nosed football in its own way almost.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother ball game when you get deep passes like that.
Yeah, and these two teams, they play so similar. They have such similar play styles, and they're both tough, and they like to spread you out and use their coaching to their advantage. As Mason's going to drop everybody back in the coverage, not going to let anything over top. Just got to throw it up to one of your playmakers.
At this point, why not form a wedge right on that goal line? Wiles going to throw short pass here to Giovanni Wilson. He's going to go down. And we will hit triple zeros on the scoreboard. We are all scoreless from Firebird Field as we leave this first half. Not exactly the ball game that anybody expected from either side here from Westchester, especially on senior night. But we'll see what the second half holds. We'll be back in about 20 minutes. An exciting finish here, no doubt, from Westchester. Back for the second half at Firebird Field, and we saw the chats in YouTube. Yes, you read that correctly. It is still scoreless in a game that many expected West to be on top big time at this point in the game, but I mean, we are far from it, and we have some halftime stats here to read off for you, and a lot of them very interesting. Only a combined 9 first downs on the day, 6 for the West Side, 3 for the Mason Comets. But some of these third down conversion numbers just flat out atrocious. I mean, 2 of 8 for the Mason Comets, 1 of 5 for the Firebirds. This game is being won and lost right now on those third down plays. So we're going to have to see some big time adjustments from both of these teams if we want to see them come back and put some form of points on the board in this second half.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this has been an offensive thriller.
We'll see this one booted away. Remy takes it on the 2, staggers back to the 1, and he's off through the races here, crosses the 25 to the 30, down at the 33, reaching forward. And that's where the Firebirds will start out the second half after they deferred in the first. And before we get into the second half of action, we want to thank all of you for joining us once again up here in the broadcast booth. I'm Nick Johnson alongside our analyst Jordan Hauk. And Jordan, as we mentioned, not a great offensive game. I mean, it's been a track meet in its own way defensively, but some of the offense has been flat out hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you kind of saw earlier in the season, but this offense has developed so much. It's really hard watching this offense not succeeding. But when you're in a grudge match like this, you gotta make plays and pull one out.
Brendan Remy with the jet sweep here picks up about 3, trying to pick up some forward progress there. And I mean, you mentioned it was a lot like the beginning of these Firebirds tonight, 102 yards on offense. So it's not like they haven't been able to move. I mean, they've been moving. It's just a matter of a couple plays, which, I mean, that's exactly what happened at the beginning of the year. You have to convert some of these plays. You look at those third down numbers, 1 of 5. You have to make a couple more of those plays, and it's been just those few that have lingered for these Firebirds. And we'll see what they're able to change here. Quick strike out. There's Trey Barnett. Tries to shake off a couple of guys, break off that first down, but it'll end up being brought down at the 45-yard line. 3rd and fairly short on the way. They'll call it 3rd and 4.
Yeah, look for a lot of new looks on this in this half. They're really going to make some adjustments. They're going to spread this defense out because they're doing a great job containing really every play type in the playbook. So really look for some new looks. They might try to go to the air attack, go downfield a lot more.
3rd and 4. Wiles, the only man in the backfield, going to try and escape up the middle and run, and he is dragged back by the Mason defense. Kai Wolfork once again getting behind him. We called his name earlier. The team leader in tackles for losses as well as total tackles came into today. 8.5 TFLs and nearly 80 total tackles.
Yeah, Mason defense right there, especially him. He made a great read on the ball. Saw the QB draw all the way. And West is going to have to punt it away right here. So you got to give credit to this Mason defense. They're doing their job up to this point.
Mark Court to boot this one away. Mason takes this one just shy of their own 25-yard line, running it on the left sideline. Not sure where they're going to bring that one down with forward progress, but Mason will be starting fairly backed up in their own territory here. And now I got to ask you, as a former member of this Firebird football team, we saw some angry Coach Boldens at halftimes, rightfully so, and then we've also seen some eerily calm halftimes with Coach Bolden. What do you think today was? Was it angry with the way this game has been going, or do you think you're confident and comfortable with your team in the second 24 minutes?
I think it's an inspirational type of calm because, you know, he's had a couple of those speeches before in that locker room, but this is a you know, they're throwing their best punches, so they're not shooting themselves in the foot or making mistakes. It's just they're playing football. These guys are both playing football.
And Jacob Asbeck, quick to get to Quinn Brown in the backfield there. A big-time sack for the man in number 11. That's exactly what this defense needed to start out on a strong note and prevent any Mason adjustments.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's just an inspirational calm. It's a let's go. We're in this. It's a grudge match, 0-0. We're just like starting the game. It's who's gonna break first. That's the name of the game. Who's gonna mentally break? Who's gonna physically break? Who's gonna give up that? And that's what Bolden was definitely saying in that locker room. So we'll see who makes or breaks the game here in the second half.
9 yards lost on that Asbeck sack, and Brown gonna take a rough hit below the belt there, and I mean, he's gonna go tumbling over. Looked like he nearly landed on his neck potentially on that play, but I mean, he's gonna pop up just fine. Picks up about half of what Asbeck took away. We'll look at about 3rd and 15.
Yeah, nice little somersault there by Quinn Brown. Did a great job on that. Got to do a great job here reading the defense because you got to go to the air, 3rd and 15 here. Got to come up with some route concepts or something. And again, what we haven't talked about a lot this time is been the pressure. The pressure really hasn't gotten home because they really haven't gotten a chance to get home. They haven't sat in the pocket. They've really rolled them out a lot. That's what Mason's success comes from.
That Asbeck sack, the first Firebird sack of the day.
So they really want to go heavy. They're projecting a run right here, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Our man Nick Johnson will be on the call right now.
And we do apologize with that. We've been having issues up here over the past few weeks with Wi-Fi just cutting out, and we had a little bit of it there. But we should be back as Mason fires to the end zone here. And maybe I need to get back off the headset. Not a great omen there, but Mason able to strike first, put some points up on the board. And West now trailing in this defensive stalemate. The way this game has gone, that is not what you want. You do not want to fall early, or you don't want to fall first, should I say, in this game. Now 4:36 on the clock. We are trying to get that scoreboard caught up for you. I know we had to step aside for a few moments, but everything should be good now. So we do want to apologize once again for that. The PAT crew now out for Mason as the kick is up, and it will be good. So 7-0 our score here from Firebird Field. We'll take a quick step aside, and everything should be all good when we come back. But the Firebirds trail for the first time tonight. Mason striking first, 7-0 our score. Back after the first points of the evening put up on the board. 7-0 our score. The Comets here actually leading the Firebirds. We have the wrong side of the scoreboard up. It is 7-0 Mason here from Lakota West as Brennan Remy going to take this kick return up to the 30-yard line, makes a dive for the 35, and he'll be brought down. Firebirds trying to strike back.
All right, this is unfamiliar territory for the West Firebirds offense ever since week 3. Trying to come from behind and snatch this one in a stalemate like this. Excuse me, not a stalemate anymore, but how can you respond? How can you respond to the score? That's the question. Are you tough enough? Do you still have it in you to put some points on the board? And that goes for both sides. Mason's got to hold them, and West's got to move the ball down the field immediately.
And it's plays like that that can turn a defensive stalemate into some sort of track meet, as we're going to see Wiles try and fire deep here, tipped at the line, and it will hit the turf at the line of scrimmage. That could have been disastrous, and you know Mason a little upset they didn't come up with that football. I mean, you go back to the old saying, how long has it been around, tips and overthrows?
I mean, that ball felt like it was up there forever, I'm going to be honest, Nick. And I'm glad our O-lineman was smart enough to bat it down instead of catching it, because that would have been a flag. So sets up a 2nd and 10. Got to go to the air right here. Got to put some points on the board. Be aggressive on offense.
4.5 minutes in the third quarter. Wiles fires, finds Trey Barnett, gain of 4.
That's great coverage right there. That's not Ashton Shape. That's number 9, the other number 9, Preston Estosa. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But, you know, little curl routes like that, you can take that all day as an offense. But when you close out that quick, you got nowhere to go, and that's what you want if you're a defense coordinator. Don't want to give the playmaker a lot of room to run, and you close the space quickly, and that's what you want.
3rd and 7, Firebirds going 5 wide. in the third quarter. Wiles with time. Now he's going to face pressure from the left. Flag on the broken play. And it's another interception. If that's a hold, that is a turnover. Mason coming up with the football again. And this game's starting to fall apart for the Firebirds.
Yeah, Sam kind of forced the ball downfield on that throw. Probably should have thrown it out of bounds, just trying to make something happen. At this, you just got to calm down at this point. The game is not out of reach. You still got 3:30 left in the third. Only 7-0. Defense has been good to this point, except for that last drive. So you really got to lock in if you're on the defense, and offensively, you got to get it going. You got to find a rhythm. You haven't seen since the X game that they're out of rhythm. They are out of rhythm right now offensively. You got to find something that you can go to and just consistently go to, Nick.
And Mason is a team that prides themselves on their defensive unit, and that's the one piece of the team that they can point to and say this is the heart of our unit. And so far, I mean, to a T, that's what they've been, holding West entirely scoreless. We haven't seen a scoreless West game since week 1, as you mentioned. I mean, even Princeton, some points put up on the board, and that defensive unit is a force to be reckoned with, as well as this one going to be blown up at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's all about this defense now. You got to hold them right here. Got to give the offense as many chances as possible, because you know this defense is going to hold. And I'm very confident in that, because when these guys are playing with the fire, they're playing with the fire, and nothing gets past them. 2nd and 10 here. Uncomfortable spot for if you're Mason, because you don't really like these spots. You don't like long conversions. So expect to see maybe keep it on the ground here when you got number 4 in the backfield.
And of course, now it becomes the clock game too. Of course, we are still in the third quarter, but Mason is a team that'll eat that clock with all these run plays. Is Drew Minnick. That's what he does best, is getting by that line in a flash of an eye. I mean, he got to those ankles quick on that one and saved West right there.
Yeah, these especially Drew, they all do a great job. The DBs do a great job flying in on runs. They get to the ball so quick. I mean, it's usually you don't see that with any other high school team except this one. The athleticism is off the charts, and that's what they pride themselves on is flying to the ball so quick and making those tackles, especially as a DB.
3rd and 11, passing down. We'll see if Mason does take to the air. They will. Here goes Brown, dropping back. Going to roll out to his right, fires downfield. Great coverage from Bukhari Miles, and it is incomplete. And the Mason coaching box next to us, not too happy about that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. He was there. They had a couple guys downfield that they could have gone to. Puts them in a bad spot here. See if this West offense can get in a rhythm once again. Just got to make it happen at this point. Got to go to anything. Got to go to anybody. Somebody's got to step up and make a play to put 6 points on that board and tie the game.
We'll see Brown stay out here, this time in punt formation. 2:10 remaining in the third quarter. Brown with the snap, solid punt out to the 30-yard line. Here goes Brennan Remy. Crosses the 40. Spins to the 43, out of bounds on that near sideline. And we'll take a quick break. The West offense looking to regroup after back-to-back interceptions when we come back. Back with the Firebird offense, back on the field. Solid field position after the Brennan Remy kick return as he's going to cross the 50-yard line here off the quick strike from Sam Wiles.
That's not Sam Wiles on the backfield, Nick. They got a new guy out. That's Nolan Parker.
That is Nolan Parker.
That's
I
the
did
vet.
read that. The 5 looking like a 2 from this angle, but that is Nolan Parker. So switching up the quarterback look. I mean, as we mentioned, not necessarily Sam Wiles' night, but it's interesting to see them switch up the quarterback game.
Yeah.
You got to wonder if that's a permanent thing or maybe they're just trying to catch Mason's defense off guard.
I think it's just a seniority thing. I mean, he's been in these situations before. He's so calm under pressure. He does a great job. He may not have the arm talent as the other quarterbacks in the room, but he does a great job of keeping his calm and being in these big situations. He really keeps his calm.
Braden Johnson up the middle on that one, gain of 3. And, I mean, it is senior night. Nolan Parker is a senior. We haven't seen him out on the field too much this season for the Firebirds. We haven't seen him too much last year, but I mean, he has been a big part of this team when he comes in, especially this year. He given the ball in certain situations. He's not a bad quarterback. I think he's just had a rough time with some of the guys he's had to back up, as a jump ball there will fall incomplete for Barnett.
Yeah, one thing that Nolan brings to the table is his pocket presence. You saw right there, little rush from the left side, able to get out, find some space, although he got clocked on that one. Probably not the best throw to make in that situation. 3rd and 7, you got to go to the air right here, so we'll see what he can do. You got to go to all reliable, maybe hit a Brennan Remy on a slant or something, but, I mean, man, 3rd and 7, this is a tough spot. You got to get a first down right here.
5 wide look, 3 to the far side, 2 to the near side. Parker, under pressure, pocket collapses, fires across the middle, incomplete, nearly had 2 different guys downfield. And there's a late flag in the offensive backfield.
That's just a guy trying to stick up for his quarterback. A little shove, and the flag comes out, man.
There's that discipline. Now West starting to lose it a little bit, and here are those self-inflicted wounds.
That could be on Mason, though.
It could be on Mason. I mean, late flag like that, I think, as you mentioned, an offensive lineman sticking up for your guy. I mean, it all kind of comes down to who started it in this situation, although it does seem to be that the bad rap goes to the guy who fights back, although it looks like they're going to call it offsetting. So 1 on each side.
Is that going to replay the down?
We're going to see a 4th down up and coming. 4th and 7 is the signal.
Man.
And out comes the punt team.
Yeah, not what you want in that situation. Still got a lot of time left. Still a minute left in the 3rd quarter, so plenty of time to get something going. But when you're going to your, I would say, deep into that quarterback room, maybe signs of struggle just a little bit. Signs of urgency just starting to go off a little bit. But again, plenty of time to get something going.
Marquardt once again from his own territory, booting this one away. And Drew Minnick able to down that one inside the 5. An impressive special team showing there.
Yeah.
The Firebirds special team unit all year has been a determining factor in certain games. Of course, the block punts are the first thing that comes to mind, but I mean, gunners like those, I mean, Drew Minnick, he's impressive on all sides of the ball.
Yeah, and the gunners, in my opinion, is the hardest position in the punt, besides the punter and being the long snapper. But when you got to get around that outside, you got to contain him, but at the same time, you got to find where the ball is and judge the receiver and how he catches the ball and what he's going to do after. I mean, it's just such a tough position, but did a great job right there. Knew where the ball was, kept it in front of him, and it gives this defense about 90 yards to work with. So I'll take those odds if I'm Coach Holes.
So a bit of a generous spot here for the Comets. Ball put on the 5.5. Nevertheless, Comets still really backed up here. They're going to try and hand this one up off the middle.
Yeah, Mason going back to their bread and butter. It's just that interior run, trying to take as much time off that clock as they can. Not trying to give this offense another opportunity on the field. So the clock continues to run.
They get to the 6 there. They will have to run one more play before this quarter ends. 4-second difference between the play clock and game clock.
Yeah, definitely taking their time, slowing the pace down.
Here goes Brown in the shotgun. Hands it off again. Redwell stopped at the line.
Oh. Twos are getting a little aggressive. Can't get too aggressive. Don't want a penalty in this situation.
So we will switch sides of the field. 12 minutes remain. And the Firebirds trailing in the 4th quarter. A very unusual look here, especially on their home turf. But we'll come back. We'll see if the Firebirds can turn around this ship and get things going on senior night when we come back. back from the fourth quarter of play from Firebird Field. It is 7-0 Mason Comets. They have a 3rd and 8 up and coming from their own 7-yard line. This is a big 3rd down for the Firebirds. Brown gonna fake the pitch back, looks to throw. It is caught, and Micah Markley gonna save the Firebirds there, wrapping up the ball carrier in the bat of an eye. That quick pass out to Ayante Staley will not go for the first that Mason needed, and the Firebirds bringing out the punt team.
Yeah, we've seen that play multiple times, and they've had good success on it, although the ones that they caught. But, again, the Firebirds are ready for it right there. Micah staying on his toes, keeping discipline on that right side, able to keep the man coverage and take down the tight end for a good stop.
Punt unit out, backed up in their own territory, especially with this West Special Teams unit always dangerous. They are able to get it off. And Brennan Remy already putting the Firebirds inside the 35. That's the field position you need to get going. 11:42 remain in the ball game, and the West Side is getting loud. They want to see this offense come out and show a few signs of life. And we were talking about this during the break, but coming up on these playoffs, every single game is important, and especially this one heading into Hamilton next week. This is a game you got to have if you're West.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And this is for home field advantage. This is also for just play, just flat out play, because you gotta up your game when it comes to the playoffs. You got to get better every game. You got to build off of each win for sure. So you got to win this game tonight.
And at quarterback, Sam Wiles will return to the turf in Westchester. And he's going to throw deep on this one, well overthrown, and that is blatant pass interference on Giovanni Wilson. That is a much-needed penalty flag out there to help out these Firebirds. I mean, you'd like to see your offense do the legwork, but you'll take those given yards from this Mason defense at this point in the game.
Yeah, that was as obvious as it comes. I mean, that wasn't even close, I'm going to be honest. We've got to...
And it looks like we have a Firebird down on the far sideline around the 6. Not sure what the number is on that, but we're going to take a quick step aside, and we'll try and figure that one out over the break. So we do have word on the Firebird injury, and it's about as worst-case scenario as it gets. Brennan Remy was the man down. We suspected it given the spot of the injury, and luckily he does seem to be walking off on his own strength. A bit of a limp. I want to say it's something either the right knee or right ankle. Of course, our word, very unofficial, but still not what you want to see from your star return man, your star receiver. I mean, all-around athlete for this West team. And especially, of course, safety is the number 1 concern, but, you know, thinking about in terms of this football game, especially not what you need now if you're these Firebirds, is Braden Johnson going to get this carry? Spins through the initial tackle, fights forward for 3.
Now number 6, Gavin Lowry is coming in the game for Brendan Remy. He's got to step up, and Sam Wiles has got to depend on him. That's your number 1 receiver going down. So obviously you're going to run the ball right there. Do you go to the air right here, Nick? That's the question. I think they do, personally.
West does still have the weapons. Of course, Trey Barnett, we haven't called his name a ton even this year, but he is an incredible athlete and one that I wouldn't be surprised if they try and get him the ball given the injury, as we see that one blown up right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
This isn't starting to look that great for the Firebirds.
Yeah, you probably got to attack through the air right now. That interior D lineman of Mason is just, they're eating all the inside zones. They're doing a great job getting separation and getting off those blocks. So you got to go to the air right here. And 3rd and 10. I know we say it's uncomfortable for Mason. It's been uncomfortable for West tonight, trying to go through the air, whether that's through penalties or route concepts.
And back on your screen on that right side, Brennan Remy is back out and on that far sideline, 4 wide. He's the only man up at the top of your screen, 3 down low for the Firebirds. Wiles with the snap, looks to fire to the near side, finds Giovanni Wilson. He's going to come up just short of that line to gain. I would imagine, given the state of this game, it's probably go for it territory.
Absolutely.
But yeah, here come the big boys. Luca Gilbert, Gabe Flores, Micah Markley.
All
I
right.
believe I saw Jacob Asbeck in there. Yeah, he's out there. Time for a little brotherly shove, tush push,
man.
whatever you want to call it.
This is smash mouth football right here. You already know what's coming.
Wiles hands it off. Junior Gonzalez pushing for the 10. All he has to do is get inside that 10-yard line. Mason says they have the stop. Do they? Where are they going to put this football? Hard to look through those piles. We didn't get a great look at it. Mason seems confident.
That's tough.
It's Mason football.
What a stop if you're Mason. I mean, wow. They brought in everybody. They put everybody in the middle. I believe they're going to measure it. They're not going to measure it. This will be Mason football. What a turnaround. 9:40 left. Still got time on the clock. This defense has got to get a stop. They got to get it fast because you know they're going to be running the entire time. They're going to try to run this clock down as much as they can. West has got to get off the field. This defense has got to get off the field.
And, of course, this is where that last drive ended. Mason still backed up here. Another big stop would put the Firebirds right back where they were. But, of course, the longer this game goes on, you run out of time, but then also momentum starts to swing. As we'll see the snap here, ran up the middle. Gain of about maybe 2.5 before being dragged down by a pack of Firebirds.
Yeah, that's what you're going to see, these runs, interior runs, outside runs, whatever they are, they're runs. They're running the clock. Not only are they picking up a little bit of yards each at a time, but they're picking up seconds. I mean, they're really trying to run this clock down and hope the scoreboard hits 0. Don't be surprised again right here, another run. Just trying to get those couple yards.
They're going to end up giving that one 4 yards on the carry, so a bit of a late push there, helping out the Comets. 2nd and 6, another run up the middle. Read well by the West defense, but that's a powerful back to knock down. That was a Sanya right there. Not much of a gain. They are going to move it to about 3rd and 5.5 rather than a 3rd and 6.
This is your stop right here. Inside backers have got to be on their toes because really that defense runs through them, and that's what they run through all night, is reading that pass and reading those runs and flowing to the ball so quickly. 3rd and 5. You would anticipate a run, but look for a pop pass like they have in those PA boots.
Firebird side shaking the stands right now. They know how big this play is. And there goes Drew Minnick to the quarterback. And down goes Brown inside the 10. The big play that the Firebirds have been looking for. And that might have turned the tides in this one.
Corner blitz off the left side. Every time it's been called, it has worked. And that couldn't have put him at a better time. That was a great call by Hulls. He knew it all the way, showed it really well. Nothing more you can ask from that. Got to the quarterback in a hurry. What a play and what a stop by this defense, giving this offense another shot to tie this one up.
Brown out for the punt, and so is Brennan Remy inside the 45 of Comets territory. Brown on the punt. Boots it away, line drive kick. Remy takes it on the 44, inside the 40. Now the 35, the 30, out of bounds at the 25-yard line, and there's a late hit. Firebirds want a flag. There it is.
Here we go. This is the best opportunity.
It is loud in Westchester. The fans know what is up and coming. What a ball game.
Man, this is exciting. I know people people don't like these defensive games. I love them. It's great because when one score happens, it changes the entire game. Remy a little shaken up on that. Hopefully he'll be all right, but that was an aggressive and pretty obvious late hit right there. It took him down by the horse collar. And here comes your best opportunity of the night. This is your best knockout punch. What can you give? You're starting from the 21-yard line. You've got 21 yards to go. You've got to get in the end zone somehow, some way. You can't come off the field with 3.
And they call it half the distance to the goal,
Oh, wow.
with the penalty. Ball is on the 12. You have a first down to go on the 2. I mean, here it is. This is the ball game. If the Firebirds can't punch it into the end zone, I mean, as you mentioned, this by far the best shot of the night outside of that first play.
Yeah, that's 4-down territory. You're
Remy-
going to see them out there the entire time.
Remy's still out on the turf. Talk about a physical football player. Wiles in shotgun. Wilson, the motion man, goes out wide right. Wiles finds the slot man Wilson. Inside the 10, stays on his feet, jukes through a couple of tackles to the 5. And he's brought down out of bounds, half the chains on play number 1 of this drive as we approach the 7-minute mark to go.
I mean, it feels like there's 1 minute left in the game, Nick. I mean, this is unbelievable. The energy's up. This is your best knockout punch right here. Great play there. Letting G work in space. That's what he does best, is his athleticism. He uses it so well. Wes is going to slow down a little bit. Try and catch their breath a little bit after the excitement. 2nd and 3 to go. You're so close. You got to punch it in right here.
Yeah, you said it there, and that's the key. Ball's on the 5, and it's 2nd and 3. You still got that first down. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Wiles maybe try and punch this one up the middle just to play for that first. But we'll see him throw here. Looks back right corner. That's a touchdown!
Catch.
The big man coming up in a big situation. How about it, Jordan?
Wow. I mean, he went full stretch for that, got 1 knee in bounds, using his height to his advantage. Long ways. What a catch. What a play. What a call. What a series. What a game.
Touchdown West Side, and that's what was needed. But now you look to special teams. This is a big kick. Benner 0 for 1 on field goals. This is only his 2nd time out tonight. And he doinked it, but I believe he doinked it in off the upright, and he did! This game, Jordan, I'm telling you,
gosh.
fingernails have decided this game. Fingernails have decided good or no good on PATs. They've decided, has it been a first down? They bring out chains from time to time in this game. This games have, I don't think they were more electric. I mean, Elder last year in the playoffs, I don't think that was as big as this game has been. This is the most fun game in years, and now we are tied at 7 with 6:30 to go in this ball game.
I mean, you said it best right there. This game is bonkers. I mean, 7-7, 6:30 left. Mason's going to give their best punch now, going for the KO. This really does feels like a boxing match, going punch for punch, as Benner's going to get this one set to kick away. It's crunch time now. I mean, it may not be crunch time on the clock, but it's crunch time now. 6:30 to go. Benner kicks this one off. They will let it fly through the end zone. Everybody's holding their breath. Got to make it happen. Nick Johnson is back.
And we do apologize. More internet issues. I mean, I think the electric kind of took out the power in the internet department, but
Good call.
back out on the field here. Here goes Brown, looks to fire across the middle, deflected off the turf. Incomplete on 1st and 10 for the Mason Comets. As we're going to try and catch up our scoreboard for you. Once again, we thank you for sticking with us through a couple of technical difficulties. Always really fun to deal with those up in the booth, but especially games like this. We're all running around up here, so we hope everything turns out well for you guys at home.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, this is not the spot where you want a internet disconnection, Nick.
Not really.
All right, Mason's got to attack through the air right here. See what they got.
Brown with the back behind him, takes a snap, hands it off, up the middle. Read extremely well, little to no gain on the carry.
I say that. Maybe a little jinx. I thought they were going to go through the air. They try to go interior again. Don't get much. Now you have to go through the air. It's 3rd and long. See what kind of route concepts they can draw up. Maybe some magic. Because you got 6 minutes left. The clock is ticking. Maybe trying to stall it out, give the offense as less time as possible for a game-winning drive.
1.5 officially on that last carry up the middle. 3rd and 8. Timeout, Mason Comets.
Yeah, they came out in that play-action boot play that they've completed a couple times. It was that same look. I think it was a little too obvious. That's why Coach Kastner called a timeout.
We're going to take a step aside, regroup from technical issues, and also take a little bit of a breather the way this game is going. 5:43 remaining. We'll be right back in a Third and 8 up and coming for the Comets. High pressure football. Brown rolling to his right. Pressure from Thomas from the blind side. Brown fires down the sideline. Incomplete. And is that an interception? Was that an interception on the tip?
Was.
Oh, what's the call?
Yes, it
They're
is.
going to give that to West. A big-time turnover for this defense. Who came up with that football?
I don't know.
I haven't been able to see through the pile. Who came up with that football?
Oh my.
Was that Tabron Bennie-Powell?
I think it was.
There's a crowd on the sideline. I believe that was Tabron Bennie-Powell, but that might have been game-saving. Firebirds with the football on the Comets 40.
What a turn of events. This is all West right now. You got to ride that momentum.
Wiles with time in the pocket. Ends up having a move out to his right. Throws deep to the sideline. Overthrown, incomplete for Trey Barnett.
Oh, my goodness. Can we take a breath for a second, Nick?
We need it.
Oh, my gosh. Quinn, nowhere to go with the football. That was the worst possible thing you could do as a quarterback, is force that into a spot like that, in a spot like this. Forced it into five jerseys, it looked like. 5 red jerseys.
Momentum is a killer, Jordan, and it's momentum that puts pressure on you in those situations, and that is the definition of energy and pressure in this game, as we see this one quick off to the sideline for Brennan Remy, who, by the way, what a physical game he is having. How many times has he been down, bruised, beaten in this game, late hits? He came up with an impressive 8-yard gain on the near sideline there.
He's a tough dude. That's all I can say.
He has been the heart of this Firebird team tonight.
Oh, yeah. The offense runs through him as a wide receiver.
4 wide. Wiles working with a back to his right in shotgun. Takes the snap. Fires, looks for Brennan on the near side again. Are they going to call that complete, or did it hit the turf? That's a completion, I believe. Firebird's going to move the chains. Brennan Remy coming up with a new set of downs.
Remy got clocked again. Wiles just a little too late on that throw. Hit it a little high, and that DB came in and clocked him and made him pay for it. Brennan Remy, what else can you say but just mental toughness, physical toughness.
You look back at last year, how many games did he play with a torn labrum that he had to get corrected after the season?
Yeah.
That's
no fun.
He plays through it all, and we've seen that. This is true Brennan Remy football in this game. Wiles under pressure. He's going to spin out of a sack. Wiles on the run. The first inside the 15. Penalty flags down, but he's in the end zone.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's going to get called back. Multiple flags.
Mason brought the house. He avoided it, made a great play, but it is going to come back. There was a block in the back.
Some pounding on the turf from the offensive lineman. That would have turned the tides right there. We talked about how he's hitting the targets downfield like it's boo blasters. He took off there like a go-kart. You can make all kinds of carnival game comparisons.
You're
Sam
killing me.
Wiles, what can he do?
You are killing me with these analogies.
It's what I do. It's what I do, Jordan. And it will officially be a holding call there, backing up the Firebirds and negating the Sam Wiles scramble touchdown.
Glad it's a spot foul. It doesn't mean it's as bad. It's 1st and 8 here, so you still got good opportunity, good time on the clock, 4:30 to go. Plenty of options to go to right here.
They do still end up gaining 2 yards, and they keep first down. So obviously never fun to lose a touchdown, but it could be a lot worse like you just said. Now here goes Wiles. Quick strike, finds Trey Barnett inside the 25, and he stays on his feet.
Wow.
Makes a push to the 20. He'll go down just shy of that line to gain the Firebirds. Nickel and diming their way back into this ball game as they approach that end zone for potentially the 2nd time tonight.
We haven't seen it in the first half, but this is just who wants it more. I mean, who wants to get that extra yard? Who wants to get that first down? Who wants the ball in these situations? Who wants to step up and put it in the end zone for 6? 2nd and medium. The playbook is open. Might want to take a shot right here.
2nd and 4 from the 23. Here goes Wiles. Looks to throw. He's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to run. He has the first. Here we go again. Reaches down to the 11-yard line, and a new set of downs for the West Side.
What a move again. Sam showing off his athleticism. He is so athletic, and he's so good. He could play any position on that field, skill-wise. He's just so mobile, and he does a great job. Every single draw tonight, he's done his best to get at least 5-6 yards out of it, and you saw it again right there.
4 wide, 3 to Wiles left. He's going to fire. Back left corner, Brennan Remy off the back shoulder, incomplete.
That's a really tough play. He thought the ball was coming over his left shoulder, had to turn back around, try and spot the ball while it was already in his hands. Man, that's just tough, man. If he just would have turned the right way, that would have been an easy 6. But that's such a tough play as a receiver. Nothing you can do about it but move on and try it again.
2nd and 10 now from the 11. The momentum, we have our breather, Jordan. This is what we've been waiting for.
This is not a breather, Nick.
I have a feeling this is not going to stick around from the 11-yard line. Wiles, the lone man in the backfield. Wilson, the motion man. Here goes Wiles to the left. Finds the slot man, Wilson. Jukes at the 11, inside the 10. Fights to the 6. And he'll be brought down. It'll be 3rd. That first down marker is sitting on the 1-yard line as we hit the 3-minute mark to play. I'll tell you, if there's one thing the Firebirds don't want here, it is overtime football.
Yeah. I mean, not a lot of experience with overtime football at all. I mean, the last game I can remember was Fairfield last year, going into overtime. Not very experienced in that category, but you want to put 6 up here. You got to get 6.
Wiles working with Gonzalez to his right. He's going to step up and run with this one inside the 5 to the 3, brought down shy of the 1st.
Ooh.
They are
Oh,
inside the
man.
5. Do you go for it
Oh, my
and
goodness.
corner Mason inside the 5 if you don't get it
Oh,
to go all
wow.
out for that touchdown or even the 1st? Tough decisions.
Oh, man. This is... I would expect nothing less.
Here comes Braden Benner.
Man, yeah. Probably the safe call. Your defense looks good in the 4th quarter. You want to trust and rely on them to get you through this game at this point. Hopefully you can knock this one through, give us the lead. Huge kick. Huge kick.
This is a chip shot for Benner. 27. Boots it up and good like it's nothing. And you hear the roar of the crowd. West on top for the first time tonight. 10-0 our score on senior night from Westchester. We'll take another quick step aside. Inside 2 minutes. Comets looking to strike back when we return. 1:46 to play. The West Side with the lead for the first time tonight after a chip shot Braden Benner field goal on 4th and 2 from the 5-yard line. If you're Mason, do you play for this field goal or do you try and shut down West on their home turf this late in the ball game?
I mean, judging by the offensive production here in this fourth quarter, you got to go for 3. They've already struggled getting the ball down the field besides that one drive. And other than that, they've had really little to no success on offense. So, again, great defensive game on both sides. I mean, you got to give credit to both teams. They're playing their hearts out. They're going punch for punch. They're going knockout punch for knockout punch, really. And this is the game right here. Let's see if Mason can trickle their way down inside field goal territory, because that's really their goal on this drive. They know they can't get 6.
I mean, we talked about similarities to the St. X game from this year. How about the similarities to last year? Big plays down in that same end zone. Now this one could come down to a swing of the leg in front of that Red Sea. Here goes Brown, firing across the middle, overthrown, incomplete. Drew Minnick on the defensive coverage for the Firebirds.
That was straps by Drew Minnick. I mean, nowhere to throw the ball. You had to be perfect right there. Put the window as tight as you can. And Quinn Brown, he's a great quarterback to this point, but hasn't had much success as a true quarterback. And I want to force him to make those uncomfortable throws.
2nd and 10 from the 20 after the touchback. Here comes Grant Bierman on that left side. Pressure from the blind side of Brown. He rolls out to his right. Gabe Flores able to get a couple of hands on him. Brown is able to ditch the football. 3rd and 10. You got 2 attempts to pick up this first.
Yeah, but maybe a little missing holding right there. I'm going to be honest, Nick. I think I saw a little grabbing. But 3rd and 10 right here if you're Mason. Haven't had too much success going through the air, but you have to at this point. You got to pass the ball. You got 1:35 left. The favor is in West's hands. They just got to shut it down right here.
Here goes Brown with Asanya to his right in the backfield. 4 wide. Looks to throw. Has all day in the pocket. Fires far side. It is caught. And that'll be a Comets first down just up past that 35-yard line. They are able to scoot out of bounds. 1:29 remaining. Clock is stopped as the Comets move those chains.
That was an unbelievable throw by Quinn. He got rocked and was able to deliver a duck. I mean, there was no spiral on that. He just threw it up. Let his receiver do all the work. That was Chase Blevins. He's had a solid game tonight. A lot of production. 1st and 10 right here. You want to get in the field goal territory. That's your goal. That's your mindset.
Firebirds, 37-yard line is where the ball is spotted. Brown to throw. Pressure all around. Pocket collapsing, near interception. That would have been the ball game for Drew Minnick right there. And it fell through the hands.
He read that so well. He jumped on the route right through his hands. Just took his eyes off the ball. Oh, my goodness. You just hope that doesn't come back to haunt you. I mean, we are sweating up here. It is 65 degrees, and we're sweating, Nick.
It's times like this you miss the cold. I mean, you named it.
Oh.
2nd and 10. The West Side about as loud as it's ever been. As Brown rolls right. Fires that one off, and it is incomplete. He lost control of the football on the West sideline. Another 3rd and 10 up and coming. Firebirds can't allow another slip here.
That was a play-action flood concept. They've ran that all night. That's been about, I would say, 40% of their pass plays. Got to get the ball down the field. But you want to think about it. You're going to go for it on 4th down, so you want to get at least a couple yards right here. Maybe play it safe. Get at least 5-6 yards, maybe on a curl or an out route. But this is the game right here.
And you can hear the crowd noise from this home side. Brown under immediate pressure from Thomas. Throws it away into traffic, and Grant Bierman nearly had that football, but he ends up wrapping up the ball carrier for a loss of yards. 4th and 12. Here it is, Jordan.
Oh, boy.
The whole stalemate comes down to 4th and 12. And they're actually going to spot it 4th and 11. It looked to me, Bierman had him farther back. but this one going to be on the 36.
Timeout on the field.
And we have a
Oh,
timeout
my goodness.
down on the turf. We're going to take a quick breather with them
I hope
inside the final minute. This could be the last play of the ball game when we come back. This is it, folks, from Firebird Field, 10-7, 4th and 11. Take a look at that west sideline. Everyone on this side is on their feet. The players know what this play could bring inside the final minute to play. Have you heard it louder down there as a player, Jordan?
I don't know. This is definitely up there. Always enjoy the crowd. They're always into it. This stadium is packed, game in, game out.
I mean, with this noise level, we might be in false start, some kind of offensive miscue territory.
Yeah.
The crowd really does play a factor in these close games. It goes underappreciated as they reset the game clock here to 1:01 prior to the snap. That's what the delay was. So now not under a minute, but this could still be it for Mason. Here goes Brown. Pocket collapses, steps up, fires. Loose ball, incomplete. Mason only one timeout remaining in this ball game. That will do it. That seals a Firebird senior night victory in front of the home crowd.
What a stand by this defense. They gave up one drive, one punch to the face, but they recovered, and they made it happen when it mattered most. I mean, oh, you couldn't ask for anything better. This has been a great game. This is definitely the best game we've called all year.
I think this is my favorite game I've called of all time. I'm pretty sure you can hear the excitement in my voice tonight, but I mean, man, Firebird football. This is Firebird football. When you think of that brand, I mean, this is that game. As the victory formation is what we will see from the Firebirds here. 1st and 10 from the 37, as Wiles will drop to a knee.
Ball is down by number 12.
All around impressive performance in this second half. It started out rocky too. I mean, the turnovers, Sam Wiles coming out throwing back-to-back interceptions at one point. It's how you recover from these kinds of situations, and that's really what makes West a special team this year. Mason not going to burn their last time out on that knee from Wiles.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing you did.
Inside 25, here we go.
This one should do it.
Barring a timeout, which we will not see, the handshake line forms. Jordan, incredible game.
It's been a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure up here in the booth. Firebirds, of course, kind of counting on Princeton next week to lose their first of the season, but they will travel to Hamilton to take on the Big Blue, who have been another impressive force in the Greater Miami Conference. Lots on the line, even if there's not a GMC title on the line, lots of playoff implications. And we will be live from Hamilton next week. We appreciate all of you for sticking with us here from Lakota West Student Broadcasting. I've been Nick Johnson. He's been Jordan Houck alongside. And especially tonight more than ever, as always, go Firebirds!